Hi. I know it's been a while since I've done a vlog, so I wanted to make an update based on everything that's happened over the last couple months. So, to try to keep this brief, I'm just going to explain real quick what happened towards the end of last year. Basically, I was trying out some new bipolar medication, one of which was making me really anxious. I think I talk about this in another vlog. It was making me extremely anxious. I would just sit in my chair and I couldn't bring myself to play any games. I couldn't take any naps. I just was way too anxious for anything. And it was really bad. So I asked my psychiatrist to change the medication to something else, and we tried a different medication. Between the first medication and the second medication, something must have happened and I got really sick. The second medication in itself was making me super depressed. I was still having a bit of anxiety from the previous medication, probably from the new medication as well. But I was also super depressed on the second medication. I was just really miserable. So between the two medications, I think something must have happened to my body in some way. I think it must have messed with my stomach or something. Like, we're still not 100% sure what exactly happened. I have my theories, and that's what I'm actually going to share with you. There's no concrete evidence as to what has happened or what was going on. This is all completely a theory based on my observations over the last couple months. For those of you who don't know, since basically the end of November, I have been sick every single morning that I wake up. And I would just be extremely nauseous. And even eating would cause the nausea. And we weren't sure what exactly was triggering it. I went in and did a bunch of tests, and I went and saw a bunch of different doctors, but no one could tell me what was wrong until I started to dig a little more into what I was eating. So I decided to take a step back and look at what exactly I was eating. For those of you who don't know, I have a lot of food intolerances, things like garlic and beef. I can't eat a lot of them because if I eat too much of them, it makes me really sick. But I had developed my stomach in a way to eat those things as long as I was eating them in small amounts. Occasionally, I could have them. So when this medication, I guess, was introduced into my body, it threw all of that work that I had put in for my food intolerances and threw it out the window. Again, this is my theory, because once I started being really strict about what I was eating and completely cutting out all of my intolerances, I started to feel better. This, as well as like a few other things. For example, for those of you who didn't hear about this, I found out one of the things I was having a lot was cashew milk, but it was kind of wrongly advertised in a way because it wasn't just cashew milk, it also had oats in it. If you remember, I'm allergic to oats. Like, I can't eat them, I can't touch them, I'm allergic to them. It's not super severe, but I did have a bunch of hives, probably from oats as well as gold. So yeah, that was probably also exacerbating the issue that was at hand. Still, we're not 100% sure what caused this, if it's even just the food intolerances or if I've just gotten better just as a general rule, but I am leaning towards the food intolerances a little more because if I have a certain food with, say, garlic in it, the next day I do get sick. So we're basically starting from ground zero when it comes to my food intolerances, and I'm trying to avoid them as much as possible to allow my body time to recuperate and heal after this setback. So hopefully over time I can get back to the way things were, where I could have these foods occasionally, as long as I wasn't overdoing it, like having it every meal or every day. If I had certain foods every once in a while, I can handle those. So I'm gonna be working back towards that, but for now I've just been avoiding it as much as possible, and I have seen improvement. So that's kind of an update for my health situation for anyone who maybe didn't know, or maybe had no idea, or maybe you've been following along and you wanted an update and to know like what had happened, here's your update. I want to say thank you to everyone who was supportive during this time, especially since I wasn't able to get back to streaming as quickly as I would have liked. I had plans for my return to Twitch, and those kind of got put on the back burner while all this was going on. I'm also having issues with DBD lately, with the direction that they've been going these last couple chapters, and I've just really fallen out of love with DBD lately. And so it's been really, really hard, especially being bedridden for as long as I was and not really having any direction in my life. I felt very out of control over my health, over, streaming and the game that I enjoy. Like, I just felt very out of control. Like, I didn't have any control over anything. And that was actually really depressing me. So for those of you who checked in on me, thank you. I know I was very distant a lot of the times when people would ask me about how I was feeling, mainly because I didn't know the answer, and having to say over and over again to people like how I was feeling without knowing like what the cause of it was kind of like adding salt to the wound a little bit. I just was a little distant whenever people would ask me specifics, so I'm really hoping this video sheds some light on why that was, and hopefully you can understand and be a bit understanding about that situation. It was a very depressing time for me because I'm usually the kind of person that likes to, set my mind to something and go for it. So if, I'm not feeling well, I want to know what it's causing it so I can start addressing the issues. So it was very difficult for me to come to terms with the fact that I had no idea what was causing it and that I was miserable every day. And it pretty much set the tone every day when I'd wake up nauseous. I just wouldn't want to do anything. I wasn't motivated. I felt really sick. So it was a very hard time, and I just want to say thank you to those of you who were supportive and, sending your love and messages to me. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, here's hoping that things get better for us going forward. In regards to the future of the channel, I don't really know what direction we're going to be headed in. Today we played a different game from DBD, and it was fun, but it's definitely not a game that I would consistently play on stream. And so I definitely am going to be searching for new games to play on stream and hanging out with you all. While doing that, it will be some time before we find our rhythm again in the streaming world. The way I see it now is stream is gonna pretty much not take a backseat necessarily, but a bit to I'm gonna get into phlebotomy. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the person that takes your blood for blood tests. Of course, the vampire wanting to get into phlebotomy, it's destiny. So I felt that it was something that would be fun and interesting, and I've been told it's a really good career. A lot of people really like it when they get into it, so I want to try my hand on it and see how it goes. I really could use the stability. I've been feeling very out of control when it comes to my finances, especially since Twitch is kind of not really the most reliable source of income, and I haven't really known what to do with my life up until this point. So streaming will take a bit of a backseat to my phlebotomy courses, which I'm hoping to start next month. And so that's also why we changed our stream schedule. We stream now Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and that may even change again in the future, depending on what kind of job I get, down the road. If I need a change for any reason, I will make sure to let you know in Discord or on Twitter, I should say. And yeah, I'm very excited about the direction that we're headed. I have a few other projects in the background kind of being worked on as well. And as much as I have enjoyed my time streaming, I think it's time for me to start a new chapter in my life. And while I will continue streaming, I won't be putting in as much effort into it as I was before. That's not to say that we won't be streaming anymore, because I still really enjoy streaming. I love hanging out with you all. I love getting to know each and every one of you. It's something that I really look forward to, and it really helps me start my day and kind of my week as well. I know it's towards the end of the week, but you get my point. So it's definitely something that I see myself doing into the future, but it won't be my main focus or my main thing that I was thinking it would be back in the day. So I'm very excited to see where this journey takes us. It'll be nice to have some stability in my life so I can do fun stuff on stream, like giveaways and just, you know, have other games to try that we might not have tried before. And so I'm really excited to do that with you all, and I'm really hoping that you will join me on this journey. I know DBD has been something that we have enjoyed up until this point. It's something that, you know, it's the game that I've played the most. It has the most hours for me of any game. I think I'm like nearing 3,000 hours in DBD now, which is incredible. I've never put that much time or effort into a game before. But it's time to move on. I feel like the direction that they've been heading in the last few chapters, you know, years, has just not been a very fun one. I talked about this in stream today about how basically since the artist was introduced, I just haven't been enjoying DBD as much as I used to. We might play DBD again in the future, we might not. I don't really know. I'm excited to see the direction that we're headed in. I hope you are as well. And as always, I appreciate you. And in case you haven't heard it yet today, you are awesome and capable of more than you even realize. Much love, my dears. Hopefully I'll see you again in stream soon. And take care of yourselves. Please be safe. Mwah.